Hey you folks, how we doing today? It's me again, Shannon Fox here, Devoted Patriots 2 channel, and I've got a little bit of video footage for you here from Fox News of all places. They were talking about what so many people are talking about today, the border deal that's going down. It is DOA, and that is the name of this video, DOA, dead on arrival. Mike Johnson said it, many of the conservatives said it. It doesn't look like it's going to be able to pass in the House, no way, shape, or form, is what I have to believe. So it's dead on arrival. That is the good news. The really curious part for me is how the media is covering it, how the greedy neocons are handling it. The Chuck Schumers are talking about sending our kids off to war, our sons off to war, if he don't get this money. And I got a video clip to show you about that here. After I show you this clip here, it'll be second clip. Pretty crazy stuff, folks. These Democrats and rhinos in the Senate that decided they wanted to spend some more money on this Ukraine bill that they're calling a border bill, which has got $60 billion for Ukraine in it and $20 billion in it for border security to hire more people to help facilitate the influx of people into the country faster. It is not has nothing to do with trying to secure the border. We all know that. This deal was a shit sandwich from the word go, no doubt about it. The actual HR2 bill that was sent over to the Senate from the House almost a year ago is actually a good bill. It is a close the border Trump policy, remain in Mexico type policy plan. Democrats and the rhinos, they just want money for Ukraine so they can pocket as much as they can from that European laundromat. And so they're willing to give you a little crumb on the border, but in reality, what they're doing is they're saying that the border is unable to be closed, but we're going to be able to close it after a certain amount of people come in every day. That would never work. There's not even a statistical way to keep up with the amount of people coming in from every direction. So what, at 3:30 every day, we count people to find out if we hit our 5,000 people mark so we can tell the rest of the people to come back tomorrow. Just won't work. As a matter of fact, they get into this a little bit here on Fox News. It's one of the reasons I brought you this clip. They talk about how the cartels will mobilize and shift their direction and travel to another state to get people into the country. Whatever they've got to do to keep the drugs flowing, keep the people flowing, keep the money flowing. They are very mobile with their transporting, coyote trafficking of humans, and just having to move around, do it a little more coordinated according to the new policy. They know that's coming anyway in 2024 when Trump, or into 2024 when Trump takes office. So the cartels are expecting something big to change pretty quick here in the next 9-10 months. And so they have contingency plans for a lot of this stuff, I'm sure. And so to say this plan is going to help, what all is going to help is if we give Ukraine not another dime, if we actually spend any money towards the border, we only spend it on things like fencing. Giving money to help facilitate more people into the country, that is a dead in the water proposal. If we can't get border security with the previous policies, the Trump policies, then this is not going to fly. And the Democrats are not budging on it. The Republicans are not budging on it. And at this point, we are where I said we would be, waiting until Trump gets back before this can be resolved in any way, shape, or form. All this in between right now, the back and forth, the way the ABC News is handling it. ABC News earlier today said that it's Trump's fault because his MAGA Republicans in the House are going to kill this bill because Mike Johnson only listens to him. This is their narrative. And so Trump only wants to keep the border open so he can be the president, so he can run on the border for his presidency as I'm here to fix the problem. He don't want the problem fixed before he gets back, is what the scenario they're throwing out there, like Trump really likes open borders or something. And the only thing Trump is they're trying to say Trump is using the open border situation as a tool because he's telling people not to vote for this crap sandwich of a bill. Truth be known, the bill is a crap sandwich. It is just more money laundering for Ukraine, is what it's all about. You cannot call a bill that is over half the money going to Ukraine anything other than a Ukraine bill. That's just truth. You know, you can call it a border bill if you want, but the border is only about the money they're going to spend on the border and the package, 10 or 15% at most. That's not a border bill, folks. They always name them kind of silly. But let's go ahead and get into this clip here, folks. There's several things that were said here that I thought needed to be said. And I do want to let you know people are coming around behind this border situation. A lot of your even left-wing nutcases like Bill Maher said today that Biden is a liar. He said Biden could shut the border down with previous policies. It doesn't take money. It doesn't take Congress. It takes him putting Trump's policies back in place. And that's the facts, folks. Glad to see it.
$60 billion in Ukraine aid, $14 billion for Israel, $10 billion in humanitarian aid, $5 billion for our Indo-Pacific partners. That leaves $20 billion for the borders, both north and south. That's not a border bill.
Look, you know, I have spent so much of my time in the last 3 years covering the border. And in talking to all of the agents from the rank and file all the way up to the senior leadership, they're not happy with this. And any agent will tell you, sure, we'd love more money. But what we really need beyond money, manpower, technology is we need some policy to change and to walk back the way we got into this problem.
And that is not just his opinion. That is Congress's consensus. That is Trump's opinion. That is my opinion. And I'm sure everybody listening, that is your opinion too. I would think so. Money is not going to fix this. Putting up more fence may help. Closing the holes in the gaps will help. But if you put a policy out there like stay in Mexico, that alone would allow the enforcement agents to do their job, and anybody caught crossing the border would be apprehended and arrested, which is coming soon. I believe that goes into effect in March with this Texas Governor Abbott has put a bill into motion to make it illegal to step on Texas soil from the other side of the border without credentials and things. So we'll have to see how that goes into effect. It'll probably get thrown into courts immediately. The first person he tries to arrest. So we'll see how that goes. But at any rate, I live here in Texas, and this border deal is a huge issue. And I'm glad to see the American people are finally waking up and realizing. I'm glad to see there's convoys happening. I'm glad to see most news pundits, no matter how they're covering this or spinning it, lying, pointing the finger, blaming Trump, people still see with their own eyes that it's a real, horribly devastating problem for our country, and it is a national security problem. People are thinking that in the back of their heads, whether they're saying it or not. We're thinking about fighting overseas, being bombed in other countries, fighting with the terrorists, Joe Biden being weak, and both of our borders from the north and the south being wide open to anybody that wants to show up, including the Chinese. And I'll get into that, and they'll get into that here directly.
Is that this administration favored a catch and release process that had no consequences. And when you hear members of Congress talk about there are already laws on the books, you do. Title 8 USC 1325, they'll tell you simply makes it a felony to cross the border. Now you're in a situation where early this morning before 5 a.m., my phone was dinging at 4:30 in the morning, and clearly agents are getting up. An agent that's down on the border said, this seems to me to send a message to the world that says, come on down. We're letting in 4,999 a day. Now, Senator Langford's arguing that there's a lot of good stuff in this bill and that that's not the case. That's being misinterpreted. But at the same time, you see things, language like that, and you worry, why didn't it address things like the actual laws currently on the book and move to a remain in Mexico policy, which makes everyone who wants to claim asylum. You can walk at any time of the day to a legal port of entry and claim asylum, and you may or may not get past the initial interview. But the process of crossing illegally in mass and declaring asylum and being paroled into the U.S. is a new problem the country has had that began under this administration.
Right.
And that fundamental part of the crisis is what every border official is saying has got to change. And that doesn't seem to change in this. By the way, one more point. If you think for a moment the cartels won't choose to find another way to exploit it and go to a metering system to bring their numbers down,
I'm sure they're already on it.
Tell me, think again.
Yeah, they're already on that because they know that we're going to have to do something eventually. Maybe it'll be under a Republican president, but they know some change has to be coming, even if it's this what the Democrats put out. You know, Kayleigh, it's the numbers game. It's the shell game that is so disingenuous, and people really have to look at this. They're stuck on the 5,000 number. I'm stuck on 8,500 because that also is supposed to trigger something, but it's a 7-day average. So if you have 8,500 on one day, but you have 1,000 on the next day because you put some attention there, your average is going to be lower. I mean, this is a shell game. And again, the cartels already know this.
Yeah, to your point, the worry about the cartels gaming the system, that's a really interesting point. Look, bottom line here, so much is being said about this bill. We have a derelict, lawless president. There are laws on the book in the Immigration and Nationality Act. You just cited some federal laws that our president is choosing not to enforce. We have a president who decided to light the border on fire. That is what he did in his first 100 days, 94 executive actions to roll away the Trump-era border policies. We are here not because of a lack of a comprehensive immigration reform. We are here because we have a president who simply doesn't care, who enables people coming across our border, who enables the cartels,
Did you hear that? She said 94 executive orders to basically dismantle everything Trump did to secure the border. That rat bastard. Anybody that votes for Joe Biden at this point in time, I have to disown him at this point. Just me and I don't have any friends that are Democrats at this point in my life, and it's not trying to ostracize people. I do have some family members that I'm sure sway that direction. I don't deal with them. I don't talk to them. But truth be known, I try not to surround myself with idiots or people that are so crazy. The 20% that believe our country's headed in the right direction, 22%, I don't know those people, to be honest with you. I've never even met too many of those people in my life. And if you're one of those people in this country that believes that our country's headed in the right direction, you're probably on the wrong channel, for one thing. And another thing is you probably need to get checked out. Just my opinion. These folks are crazy that are promoting open borders, all this woke stuff. Joe Biden for president 2024. Anybody that would vote for Biden at this point in time, I have nothing to say for him. I can say this: I haven't seen a Biden sticker here in Waco in 6 months or more. Maybe that's a sign.
Enables the human traffickers. That is the problem, not the lack of a bill. Now, Senator Langford would say this puts a mandatory activation requirement on a lawless president. I heard him make that argument. So that part is true. But we have a president who disregards the law. We have a president who cuts down razor wire in Texas. So until you fix the guy at the top, the executive, Joe Biden, you don't fix the problem.
I want to hear real quickly from Congresswoman Kat Cammack of Florida on Last Hour on the Focus. She had this to say about the bill.
Now, Kat Cammack, if you don't know, she's Florida Congresswoman. I listen to her quite often.
This is not a border security package. This is a Ukraine package. This is aid for Palestinians package. This is assistance to Arab partners package. This is not border security. This is a way for them to parole people into the United States faster. You are not securing the border in this package, and we would do well not to lie to the American people and try to sell them on that. They already are pissed.
Molly, I see you nodding.
Well, it's very interesting to hear Kat Cammack talk this way, because what I'm hearing from various people on both the House and the Senate side is extreme anger about Republican participation in this border package.
You said that you worked very closely with Leader McConnell on this bill. Now that we see what's in it, seems to be as bipartisan as it gets. Why wouldn't both sides really want this to go through?
Well, it's a great question, Mika. Look, it took a long time, 4 months of arduous negotiations. They fell off the tracks a whole bunch of times. I had to be on the phone even at midnight saying, we've got to keep going. Why? We're at a turning point in America. This bill is crucial, and history will look back on it and say, did America fail itself? Why is it crucial? Well, if we don't aid Ukraine, Putin will walk all over Ukraine. We will lose the war, and we could be fighting in Eastern Europe in a NATO ally in a few years. Americans won't like that. If we don't help Israel defend itself against Hamas, that perpetual war will go on and on and on. If we don't help humanitarian aid to the starving Palestinians in Gaza, hundreds of thousands could starve. And the border, everyone has said it's chaos. You just saw Speaker Johnson. He said it's chaos. We have to do something legislative a few months ago. But what has happened, in answer to your question, so this is crucial for America. It's a turning point. History is going to look over our shoulders and say, did we rise to the occasion? To his credit, Mitch McConnell did. But too many Republicans, including Speaker Johnson, are just scared to death of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has said he wants chaos. Donald Trump has said, well, wait till I become president. That'll take at least a year. Ukraine could be gone. The border will get much worse. War in the Middle East will get worse, maybe bringing us into it. He's doing it all for political reasons. And let me just say, will senators, the crucial question, the $64,000 question, the majority of Republican senators know this bill is the right thing to do. It's a compromise. I don't like everything in it. Neither does McConnell. But it's a compromise. That's the only way you get things important done in the Senate. We proved that 2 years ago in our bipartisan legislation. And will the senators drown out the political noise from Trump and his minions and do the right thing for America? It's a crucial question. History is looking down on every one of us right now.
Wow, that was hard to watch, folks. I cannot stand that guy. He's as bad as they get. Oh, Chucky Schumer. Did he not just insinuate that we would be in a perpetual war with at least one, if not two, directions with Russia and most likely the Middle East if we don't send money now? Is that what he just said? It's a monumental time in world history. If we don't send money right now, the world will look down on us. These folks are stealing. These folks are all about taking that money. This guy doesn't care about Israel no more than he cares about Ukraine. He cares about his piece of the pie, folks. These folks have got stocks, dividends, shares, or maybe just middleman kickbacks. I don't know. But facts of the matter are, these folks are fighting awfully hard to try to get this Ukraine money. That's what this whole thing's about. The rest of it, they could give two shits about, and that's just the truth of the matter. You can see the desperation in their eyes. You can hear when they lie, spin, blame, and try to find a way to distract from the truth of the matter, which is this is not a border bill. This is a Ukraine bill with a crumb of something in the border in it, hoping that we'll bite on that. Don't do it, folks. Don't ever do it. It's a bad idea. It's a bad plan. It's not going to work. And God help us if these Republicans in the House don't stand strong and kill this bill, like Mike Johnson said, dead on arrival. Everybody have a great day.